are you taking? And that's the question people got to answer. Do you want somebody with the killer mentality, or do you want someone that's going to make the right play?
Yeah.
And do you put, LeBron is going to make the right play. And he might
Absolutely.
put the ball in his own hands. He might put the ball, he's had the most game winners in postseason history. And, a lot of people can just say that's longevity. But at the end of the day, I think LeBron James is going to make the right play. And that might be in someone else's hands. That might be in his hands. Mm-hmm. And I think Michael Jordan, at the end of the day, was never I'm going to make the right play, because he thought he was the right play. And I think that's a really good argument to kind of see where people stand on this
to me, that's a harder question to answer than who's the GOAT.
And that's why when you break it down like this, and that's why here at the locker room, when I said we're doing this episode, I want it to be detailed like that, because if people answer LeBron James in that situation, then what you're telling me is that you think LeBron James is a better player. Because if you say you want LeBron James in the last 5 seconds of a game, then you want him in the first 45 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
And so it's an interesting question. And we're going to ask Paul Whestphal the exact same thing in just a moment. And we're going to finish reading off some of our messages and tweets that people have sent in to me about Jordan, LeBron. And then you'll get my hot take towards the end of the episode. But Levi, thank you so much for coming on. Once again, click the link below for my bonus content. You will see the Levi Bowman podcast releases just about every Thursday, so go ahead and check that out. Levi, thanks for coming on, man.
Dude, thanks for having me. Loved it.
It was a blast. Once again, thank you, Levi. That is the infamous Levi Bowman that I talk about at the end of my podcast from the Levi Bowman podcast. Make sure you check that out. It is in my bonus content. I do appear on there as well. So if you do like listening to me and you want to hear a little bit more of me, you can always go over to the Levi Bowman podcast. One thing I did want to reiterate from that sit-down talk that I had with Levi, I think this is where stability comes into play. LeBron James has not played with a stable number 2. He's not played with a stable coach, with a stable organization. The couple times that he's had stable players, LeBron himself has kind of willed those players to those championships. And Jordan's always had stability. So that's something that I think is very interesting. We also do have to look at the foundation. And that's not making an excuse for LeBron James for his performance in the Dallas series or an excuse for him being 3-9 in the finals. I just think that overall stability from an organization, and when you have a stable teammate like Scottie Pippen, when you have the Dennis Rodmans, the Horace Grants, the Paxsons, the Kerrs, when you have that much stability around you and you have had it in your entire career, it definitely does help you out a lot. Let's go ahead and switch over to Paul Whestphal. And once again, this was shot off site just because getting timelines to match up is extremely difficult. But let's go ahead and bring in Paul Whestphal for his take on the GOAT conversation. The big debate going on nowadays, especially in my generation and in Levi's generation, we talk about the GOAT, and it always comes down to, in our generation, the two names. You have LeBron James and Michael Jordan. And I know I grew up watching LeBron James in high school, and then, I followed him all the way throughout his career. He is without a doubt my favorite player to watch in the NBA and my favorite player. But my whole family's from Chicago, so of course I've got the Bulls roots within me. We've got signed Jordan apparel all over the house. But the biggest question that is debated across Sports Nation right now, because of this whole Last Dance documentary, is who do you think the GOAT is? Who is the GOAT? Is it LeBron James or Michael Jordan? And I would love to get your take on who do you think the GOAT is, maybe of all time, and then kind of LeBron, Jordan, where do you sit on that fence as well?
Okay, there are some other names to be thrown in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Bill Russell, 11 championships in 13 years. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50 points a game one year. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the dominant player of his generation for 20 years. Every one of those guys has a great argument to be made for them. And a lot of it, to me, it depends on the generation you played. The game is so different from one year. Like when Russell played, they didn't even have the three-point shot. And now the three-point shot is everything. You could say, well, Michael Jordan isn't as great a three-point shooter as somebody else. Well, yeah, because he didn't have to be. That wasn't how they played then. So generational arguments will never be settled. In my opinion, I put Michael Jordan as the greatest player of all time. It's no knock against LeBron. I could see him having a great argument. I just think that if I'm sitting on the other bench, the guy I think that's the most unstoppable is Michael Jordan. And it's pretty much as simple as that for me. There's nothing against anybody else.
Now, would you ever fall into the canopy of a lot of people are saying, and this is something that I'm arguing for as well, are generational GOATs? So you have the GOAT of this era, the GOAT of this era, and the GOAT of this era. Are you more in favor of that? Because I think in basketball, it's very hard to determine the overall GOAT aspect because, like you said, each player had that you just named were dominant in their era of basketball, and the game's evolved so much the further we've gone along. So are you more in favor of that?
Oh, absolutely. That's a more realistic way to do it because for all we know, if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was playing now, he'd be a stretch five shooting those corner threes instead of the skyhook. You might not know about the skyhook. The game is different. Wow. It's a different game, and I think it's a real legitimate way to approach it.
Once again, thank you, Paul Whestphal, for just a few minutes of your time that you gave me. Something that I am arguing is I think there should be GOATs of generations, not necessarily a GOAT of all time. But you heard my response there. That's how I kind of perceive it, and he agrees with me as well. But don't be afraid. I'm giving you an all-time GOAT. I'm not going to say at the end of this episode, there's GOATs of every generation. Do I think that's the smartest way to approach it? Of course I do, and I'm not going to lie, I have an NBA Hall of Famer backing me up on that one, so thank you, Paul, for backing me up. But I'm going to give you an individual GOAT. So locker room fans, don't you worry. Once again, thank you, Paul Whestphal. Thank you, Levi Bowman. Thank you for coming on the show. Let's go ahead and get to our online submissions. We're going to start off with Fred Mooney out of Chicago, Illinois. Fred Mooney's been a resident in Chicago for over 50 years. Fred Mooney had this to say about Michael Jordan. Fred Mooney writes in, absolutely no debate. Jordan by far is the best player and competitor to ever lace him up. I think LeBron would be in top 10 group for sure, maybe even make the top 5. But Michael Jordan is the all-time GOAT in my book. Jarrett Toll writes in from Nashville, Tennessee, LeBron has passed Michael Jordan in every major statistical category. He can do everything better than Michael Jordan on the court. He can shoot, pass, rebound, rim protect. Everyone always wants to use the argument Jordan is 6-0 in the finals, but so what? Basketball is a team sport. If Jordan and LeBron switched careers, I don't think the results would be much different. There's no way Jordan would beat the Spurs in 07 with the Cavaliers team that LeBron had around him. Does he beat the Warriors with Matthew Dellavedova as his running mate? Does he beat the KD-led Warriors? The only difference I see is LeBron's not quitting to play baseball in the middle of his career, and LeBron has had to do a lot more with a lot less. All right, we'll go one more for you. Dylan Musgrave out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Dylan writes, LeBron James is the best of all time because, like Jason Williams says, he could lead the league in all 5 statistical categories if he wanted to. There has never been a player with the size and IQ and the straight raw ability like LeBron James has on the court. He sits in a category all by himself. Jordan and Kobe were the same player to me. You won't find another player like LeBron in today's game. Once again, thank you all for writing into the show. It really does mean a lot that I have people out there that are actually listening. So thank you all for writing in. Continue to keep it up. I love the suggestions that I've gotten. I love the comments and questions that I've gotten as well, so thank you for that. Now we're going to go into the side-by-side comparison, LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. We are going to dive in from regular season all the way through the playoffs, all the way to accolades at the very end. So first, let's start with the regular season. Regular season points per game, Jordan averages more than LeBron. Regular season rebounds per game, LeBron averages more than Jordan. Assist, LeBron's over Jordan. Steals, Jordan's over LeBron. Blocks, LeBron's over Jordan. Turnovers, LeBron's over Jordan. Minutes, they're actually dead even here. Field goal percentage, LeBron's over Jordan. 3-point percentage, LeBron's over Jordan. Free throw percentage, Jordan is over LeBron. And once again, if you do want to look up these numbers, it is sportingnews.com. This is the source that ESPN and SportsCenter, a lot of these people use. It is a statistical website for literally sports all around the world. So make sure you check these numbers out. Now we're going to go to regular season all-time. With 1,258 games played for LeBron James to Michael Jordan's 1,072. LeBron James has 34,087 points. Michael Jordan has 32,292 points. Rebounds, LeBron's over Jordan by over 3,000. Assists, LeBron's over Jordan by over 4,000. Steals, Jordan beats LeBron by over 400. Blocks, LeBron's over Jordan by around 70. Turnovers, LeBron definitely has more than Jordan by over 1,000. And minutes played, 48,329 for LeBron to Michael Jordan's 41,011 minutes played. Now we're going to go into the percentages and the efficiencies of the regular season. Player efficiency rating, which is basically how efficient are they on the court. They are dead even in this category at 27.9. Value over replacement. What this means is when you are subbed out, the player that is coming in behind you, how much of a lesser value they are than you, basically. So LeBron's 133.2 higher than his replacement, and Jordan's 116.1 higher than his replacement. Box plus and minus, Jordan edges out LeBron. Win shares, which is basically how many wins are you good for by yourself. LeBron at 236, Jordan at 214. True shooting percentage, LeBron James at 58, Jordan at 56, so LeBron tops that there. And usage rating, LeBron at 31 and Jordan at 33, so Jordan averaged more usage in the NBA than LeBron James. All right, now we are going to go to the playoffs. Michael Jordan averages 33.4 points in the playoffs. LeBron's 28.9, so Jordan edges him out there. LeBron, again, wins in rebounding and assists. LeBron also loses in steals. Jordan takes that again. LeBron beats him out in blocks. Jordan and LeBron are actually dead even in turnovers. Minutes, actually, they're dead even in minutes by they're 0.2 off, so basically dead even. Field goal percentage, LeBron James beats out Jordan. 3-point percentage, they are dead even at 33.2. Free throw percentage, Jordan's actually goes down in the postseason at 82.8, and LeBron's actually goes up to 74.3. Still not great, and Jordan still does have a lead, but I found it interesting that Jordan's went down in the playoffs. This is out of 179 games to LeBron's 239. LeBron blows him away in points in the playoffs, blows him away in rebounds in the playoffs, blows him away in assists in the playoffs, steals in the playoffs, blocks in the playoffs, turnovers in the playoffs, and minute-wise, LeBron's about 3,000 more minutes than Michael Jordan. Their player efficiency rating, they are dead even in that category as well. Value over replacement, which we just talked about. LeBron skyrockets at 30.8 in the playoffs to Michael Jordan's 24.7. Box score plus and minus, Jordan beats him out by 1. Win shares, LeBron's good for 51 wins in the playoffs to Michael Jordan's 39.8. True shooting percentage, LeBron James takes this as well. Usage rating, Jordan's goes up to 35.6. LeBron's goes down to 32.2. And overall, ending accolades, Michael Jordan has 6 championships to LeBron's 3. Michael Jordan has 5 MVPs to LeBron's 4. Michael Jordan has 6 finals MVPs to LeBron's 3. He's 11-time All-NBA to LeBron's 15. 9 All-Defensive to LeBron's 6. 14 All-Star appearances to LeBron's 16. And 10 scoring titles to LeBron's 1. All right, now we're going to go to the all-time statistics. And, of course, LeBron James is still playing, so these numbers can differ. But let's go ahead and start it off. LeBron James is 3rd all-time in regular season points to Jordan's 5th. LeBron is 8th all-time in regular season assists. Jordan is 45th. LeBron is 49th in rebounds all-time in the regular season. Jordan is not in the top 50. LeBron is 4th in field goals made and in field goals attempted. Jordan is 5th in field goals made and 5th in field goals attempted. LeBron James is 14th in 3-points made all-time in the regular season. Jordan doesn't crack the top 50. LeBron is 5th in free throws made all-time in the regular season. Jordan is 6th all-time in the regular season of free throws made. And let's go ahead and move into the playoffs. LeBron is 1st in points all-time in the playoffs to Jordan's 2nd. LeBron is 1st in field goals made in the playoffs to Jordan's 3rd. LeBron is 4th all-time in 3-points made. Jordan is not in the top 50. Scottie Pippen, I will add, is 19th all-time in the playoffs. LeBron James is 1st in free throws made to Jordan's 2nd. LeBron James is 2nd in rebounds all-time in the playoffs to Jordan not being in the top 50 as well. LeBron is 3rd in assists all-time in the playoffs to Jordan's 10th. So, what does that all mean? If you add those up, if you break it down, and trust me, I've done the research, LeBron James leads in 43 statistical categories over Michael Jordan's 13. Let me say that again. LeBron James leads in 43 statistical categories over Michael Jordan, who has 13. And yes, I did add on there, if they did tie in a category, I did give them both a point but that is only 4 categories on this page. So for those of you who I know are going to write in and say that, go look at the statistics. I've given you the website. You can find out for yourself everything that I've told you today. 43 statistical categories to Michael Jordan's 13.